Now, let me see. I was going to take some phone. No, actually, I had a rant planned here.
What?
Yeah, I'm reading this story about this University of Iowa professor, 65 years old, studies same-sex relationships. So I assume maybe a lesbian professor, or no, how can you even think?
How dare you?
God, I'm so sick of the minefield. She was upset at an email coming from a campus Republican group promoting something called Conservative Coming Out Week. And she fired off a thing on the campus internet that was FU, but she spelled it out, Republicans. And then, they chastised her and said they won't tolerate intolerant political speech. That's all they can do is chastisement, because she has no doubt tenure. And she said, I admit the language is inappropriate and apologize for any affront to anyone's delicate sensibilities. Well, you know what that is. That's another FU. And I'm telling you, folks, you really have to. I am not a man prone to paranoia or hyperbole. I think on a day-to-day basis over a 4-year period, I think I've sometimes been frustratingly sort of even-handed to you. I just don't like to fight that much. And I see certain people, and when they've got the spittle flying, I think this is a waste of my time. I only have so many parasects on the planet. I can't dedicate them to being face-to-face with a moron whose mind I'm not going to change. So I'm loath to fight, but I am telling you, this 2012 election is very important. I would say more important to buttress up the House and flip the Senate into a non-filibustering Senate. And also, I would get rid of this guy, because if you haven't noticed how nasty the left is getting, and I think the chain of events reads something like this. Left, when way out on the fringes, screaming in your ears from afar, grab some attention, because the other always sounds good. Left, as it happened in the election with Barack Obama in 2008 in the Senate and the House, put right in the crosshairs on the black velvet jeweler's cloth, looks horrible. It looks juvenile, it looks nasty, it looks exclusionary, it looks pie in the sky, it quite frankly looks a little crazy. All right, so they've showed. We've gotten it. The first election flipped the House completely, because immediately people saw cannot give the wallet to them. Craziness. They'll start buying into this global warming right now. And like I said, our credit rating's so bad right now, we have to get Nick Cage to co-sign a loan. So we can't go that route. We took that back. They're going to take the Senate back, I think, because people now see that that's not enough to have the House. You have to get the Senate to push that through. Obama, though, is in a weird place. Obama's at the helm of all this. This has all gotten more rancorous since he's been in, and I think some of this disdain he's exhibited has caught up to us. I would say that the left is so crazy now with all the FUs, all the union stuff. I see them screaming at 14-year-olds, all the death threats that are being floated around. And this is where you'll see in the next stage of this will be the Alan Colmeses of the world coming in and doing the stupid thing that I have to spend time diffusing with the Muslim world, where they go, are you saying everyone on the... That's the next thing you'll hear. Don't even answer it. Say, look at him and go, yes, whoever the left is, I'm saying every single one of them. As I always speak in absolutes about any group north of 100 million or a billion. That's such a silly game. But I would have to say this. When I see the look of union members on the face on their faces as people get up to speak from the Tea Party, it's the only thing I've seen that approximates the level of hatred for the Jews by much of the Arab world. I think that's what it's approaching now. And I want you to keep that in mind as you go out to vote. Like I said, I hate to be a harbinger of doom. Left to my own devices, I would be a comedian and just talk, McDonald's drive-through on here. No, probably not. That bores me too. But I'd talk a little politics, a little of this, a little of that. But I feel the need to say seriously, they're becoming unhinged over there. And it has something to do with my Paul Snyder theory of Dorothy Stratton. I think they sense they're losing this because they didn't show well. And I think that Paul Snyder understood that Dorothy Stratton had met Peter Bogdanovich, and he was talented and a hot film director and was in love with her. And she split, and he panicked. And that's what I'm seeing, a Paul Snyder sort of panic on the left. All I know is it looks like it's getting dangerous to me. And I'm not one who usually goes there. I usually poo-poo that. But I'm telling you, something is amiss in the land, and I would get power out of their hands in this next election because it's just getting too damn nasty, ugly, and quite frankly, it's starting to look very threatening. All right. Sorry I had the wine, but I'm telling you, I'm just seeing too much hatred, too much death threats, too much. This is a college professor. These are two are kids. It's enough. Dennis Miller Show.
I wanted to let you know that your rant this morning was right on. I've been sensing that violent
Yeah, it's getting weird.
So intensely. Even, I worked the AOC campaign. I sensed it from the Hoods crowd. I sensed it from the Custer crowd. I'm not sure that these people realize where they're going.
No, it's slipping away from them, Sue, and that's a dangerous point in any, I don't know, certainly most women in the crowd have had a relationship where they can see they weren't as loved with the guy as the guy was with them, or the guy thought he was with them, and he was a bit of an addict, and it's slipping away. And there's that subtle thing there at the beginning. You got to navigate your way out of that, and you got to keep your head on a swivel for a while to see how the cat's reacting. I'm looking at the left right now. They've shown their wares. Their wares have frightened most of America. I think America's going to start backing away from them. They're going to shriek a little louder. It's getting really nasty. I'm looking at this chick up in Wisconsin. She's 7,000 votes down in this Prosser re-election for the Supreme Court. Now, you remember the first day. It's almost scripted now. She had like a 5-vote lead, and she declared victory. All right, in the interim, they found the 10,000 votes that they always find, or usually find, and she hasn't fought that, so they must be legit, or we'd be in court for the rest of the time. She's now down 7,000 when it all settles out. The state's broke. She's talking about how she's for the working class, and she's going to ask for a recount, although they're never going to find the 7,000 votes. It's going to cost the state $1 million. She is an ugly person, and I haven't even seen her, but she is an ugly, nasty piece of work who's going to fight all the way out the door now and cost an already fiscally troubled state another $1 million on her vanity recount and her hanging it up because she's pissed off because the people sampled her wares and found her lacking. Even at a time where they were telling us the SEIU vote was going to come out and send Walker a message. They haven't. The people have turned, and they're going to scream louder. And I don't know what the next step is between that and screaming louder, but you see these people. Use your heads when you're out there under any sort of Tea Party auspices. Keep your head on a swivel and watch, because it is just too nasty now. And I know they say, well, the Tea Party's... No, they weren't. They had a couple 100,000 people on the tidal basin, or whatever they call that thing, the reflecting pool, and it didn't get like this. It just didn't. Hear me in there. For God's sakes, hear me. I know there's hatred right now, but it did not get like that. You guys are getting like this. Is there going to be a whack job woman this woman in Orange County who sends out a picture of Barack Obama as a chimp in a family? Yeah, they're nuts on all sides. But I'm talking about the predominating violent nature of the counterbalance demonstrations against the Tea Party. Use your heads out there, folks. I know Tea Party people are sweet and they want to teach their kids a civic lesson. If I could put my 2 bits in, I'd say you should go. I'd keep my kids at home. I really would. I don't think it's a place for young kids. When I'm seeing 14-year-old girls heckled off the stage by grown union thugs, I don't think it's a place for your kids anymore. Unless your kid's stealing. Some kids exhibit that to you. They'll look up at you and say, hey, I understand this, and you can't believe the wisdom beyond the ages. But by and large, I'd leave tykes home because it's no place for them out there. Very, very ugly, and I'm not the only one noticing it. It's getting beyond I disagree with you. I'm seeing hatred that you don't usually see this side of the West Bank.